Welcome back. In this lesson, we'll connect the prototype for the booking section. Now, a quick challenge for you. I would like you to add 2 screens for this particular chapter here. So from here, from the previous home screen, when user tap on booking, that is appointment, they should be directed to a screen that will have my appointment. In that screen, you should have something like upcoming, then past. Then below the section, you're gonna have a button that will say book appointment now. Now when user click on that book appointment, they should be directed to doctor page, that is this page. Now when user select a particular doctor, before they will now be directed here. That is about 2 different screens. So you're going to design 2 screens. The first screen is going to be my appointment as the heading. Then it will have 2 toggle buttons, that is the upcoming and the past. Then below is going to be the action button that will have book appointment. Now once they click on book appointment, they should be directed to doctor page. Now from doctor page, once they make any selection, this will be directed to this page. Now in this lesson, I have choose this doctor to be my selected doctor. Here I would like you to select any other doctor here aside from Sahad. Then you replace him with this page, so that when user tap here, they'll be directed to this page before they can be proceeded to the next page. Is that taken? All right, let's do that in a few minutes, then we come back and do our prototype. All right, that's great. I'm sure by now you are done with your challenge. So you should have something like this. Let me take a quick preview of mine. This is what I'm expecting you to have. All right, so let's connect the prototype now. So we will start from the previous chapter. So let's come here and connect this booking to the booking section, right? So let's navigate to prototype. Now double tap the booking section here. So when user tap here, they should be directed to this page. Okay, remember to rename it as booking. All right, so we're done with that first step. So the next step is here. So from here, they can navigate to make an appointment, right? So I'll also give you another quick challenge. When user tap on past appointment, you should have another screen that will just show list of past appointments. But we're not going to do that now. We're going to proceed to this one. All right, now when user click on book appointment, now they should be directed to doctor page, which is going to be the previous one in the previous chapter here. So where we have the doctor page, so we take it there. That is it here, the search doctor page here. Okay, now I'm using Sahad, as well. We'll select Sahad here. Now when user click on Sahad, that is this one, they'll be directed to this page. All right, good. So now we have seen that, so we proceed and leave the trigger and action as it is. So the next is when user tap on share, they should be directed to this, and this favorite should be taken back to the favorite page. So here you don't need to do anything, you leave it as it is. Okay, so let's proceed. Again, all these book appointment sections here, so make sure you connect it to the booking page, or this one that has book. So you take it to this doctor page here. Anybody that select there, so that it will show as if they are on the booking page. So you should do that for the remaining screen that have the booking section. All right, so we're done with that. Now we can proceed. So here we come to review. All right, so this review, when user tap on review, they should be directed to this page. So this is here, this C review, we take it to this screen. Okay, and once they click on back, they should be taken back to the doctor page. All right, so the next one is share, right? So share should always be directed to the overlay. So this share across should be directed to the overlay. So I think that one is sorted out already. All right, that's great. Okay, so now let's proceed to the booking section now. So when user click on go back now, that is this button, this should be directed back to this doctor page. All right, so similarly here, now let's do make an appointment. So this select state, let's assume user have already selected here. So the next thing is for them to click the button, right? So this button should direct them to this. Let's go to the next screen, should direct them to this book appointment. Okay, similarly this one here should direct them to book appointment. Similarly this one here, which is another select state, should also direct them to book appointment. Remember, you are connecting the button only. All right, so the next thing we are going to do, there is a back key here. All this back key should be taken back to doctor page for the 3 select states. So hold down your shift to move to the left and take it down to doctor page. That's going to be this page here. So when user tap back from each of the select states, they should be taken back to doctor page. Okay, so the back here also take them back to doctor page. All right, and this as well, can double tap only the arrow please to doctor page and keep it there. All right, so let's go down the shift key and scroll your mouse to the right. So let's see here. Okay, so here we continue. When user tap on message, this will be select, move to this screen that shows message is selected. When user tap on voice call, to voice call screen, make it there, voice call screen. All right, when user tap on video call, to video call screen, which is the next one here. Okay, now from here, the back arrow key should take them back to the select on select screen. Same thing here to here, and the same thing here, this back arrow to here. All right, so now let's connect the select states. Now this morning should take them to this morning. Okay, we're supposed to do 2 screens. So in that case, because there's going to be a little bit challenge here, because if you connect this without user selecting this, they will directly be here. So quickly we are going to fix that, and for us to achieve that, we'll just create this as component, then we'll add different variant states, that is instances that will enable the user to select this while still remaining in that same screen. And also this time and these two supposed to be a component. So let's quickly go and do that, then we proceed. All right, so I'm going to zoom out. Let's go back to our design. We take this morning and evening frame outside. Let's take it out, then we change it to components, create component, then we add different variant states. Okay, all right, so we add variant states, then this variant state here, morning, will be filled with active color. So let's come to fill and change it to active color. Okay, and the text to height. Similarly, this to height. Okay, so let's go to our variants and rename it. Okay, so this is the first, and the second one is morning. Okay, so here let's add another one again. is going to be for the evening. So we select the evening and change the fill to evening, which is going to be the active color. Then here we update the text to white, so we can remove the stroke. I'll also come here and remove the stroke. All right, so now let's connect the prototype. So when user tap on money, let's remove this one that was there before, please. So when user tap on money, they should be directed to this frame. Okay, and when they tap on evening, that is here, it should be directed to this frame. Okay, and from here they can also, when they tap on morning, they should be directed back to this frame. Okay, then when they tap on evening, that is this one, also should be directed back to this frame. So you should make sure it's like that all the variant 3. Okay, so variant 3 here for now, this thing we are going to change it to evening. Okay, so let's go to our design and go to our properties. Then we'll come to select 3 and rename it as evening. All right, so this is going to be time selection frame. Okay, so we rename that. In this way we are done with that. So we will change the hours to a frame so that we can select while we are staying in that same screen. Okay, so let's change this here and bring it here. Okay, so it's same thing. We'll create component and add variant properties. Okay, then we just select different hours. All right, so we can add like 3 more and so on and so forth randomly. All right, so let's go back from our screen and see which one is selected. So we have 10 a.m. so we start with the 10 a.m. here. So select 10 and that will be the second frame here. So we select 10 here and change it to active fill. So here we change it to active. All right, then we the text to height and remove the stroke. Okay, so here when user tap on this 10 o'clock, they should be directed to this frame like this. Okay, so you can do that for different states, maybe for this, for that, and okay. So let's go to the next screen, which is another time. Which time is there? Scroll to the right. We have 10 to 10, then we have 8 a.m. Okay, so let's go and do that of 8 a.m. again. So here when user tap on 8, they should be directed to the next frame, which is 8 a.m. so here we select 8 a.m. let's go back to our design and change the fill to 8 a.m. all right, so here 8 is going to be active and change it to our active color here. It's going to be that, and the text color to white. All right, so you can remove the stroke as well. So when user tap there, he will be directed to that. So now we come here from our prototype, and from 8 you'll be directed to this. So we want it to be switched. So if the same thing, if user click on 8 back, maybe if they want to remove it, they should be directed back to the default state. So the same thing here, if user click on 10, they should be directed back to the default frame. So this way everything is balanced. So you can take your time to just add more variant state for different times and so on and so forth. Okay, so this is going to be our frame. So rename this to our. All right, so now we are going to cut these 2 frames and take it to our component frame. Ctrl X to do that, then you come to your component and paste it there. All right, then you can position them correctly. All right, so let's go back to our design. Here we'll come back and we'll proceed. Okay. All right, so now I'm gonna zoom out a bit, then we'll go to the screens. Let's go back to our design so that the prototype connection will not be confusing us. So from here, we'll go to our assets, then we'll go to our local libraries, then the components, then from there we'll add this, which is this instance. So we select it and add it to this frame. Okay, and centralize it. All right, similarly this time also delete it. Okay, now this time is going to be R. We'll add it to our frame and align it to the center of it. So remember to touch this part to be 10, and also this and this to be to 10 as well. That is a vertical spacing. All right. So it seems one of the is not in the frame. Select these two together and see. Let's move the frame to see which one is not in the frame. Okay, this is not in the frame. That is the morning. You can delete it and go and insert it by just dragging and putting it in the frame like this. All right, so then we can align it inside the frame. So now select the two of them and distribute it to 10. Okay, so here morning is selected and so on and so forth. You can also select their time and so on and so forth. All right, so that's fine. So here we'll connect it to 10 a.m. When user click on 10 a.m. you should be able to be moved to the next one. Once they click here, they can select their time and they can move to the next frame and all that. Okay, so one thing we're gonna do here is to make sure everything is consistent. So here we'll delete the time frame and also this one. Then we'll replace it with this other component. Okay, so you can easily copy this to this place and align it there. Also copy this, select it, alt key, drag and align it there. Okay, remember to distribute the vertical spacing to that same thing. Okay, so we do the same thing to this time and this one, and make sure they are left aligned properly, and to 10 as well. Okay, then we'll do to the last one, which is 8. Also do the same thing. So here we delete this, that is not component. This is also not component, we delete it. Okay, now we make duplicate of this and bring it to this frame. Okay, excuse me, alt key, drag to make duplicate. Then select this alt key, you drag to make another duplicate. Okay, select them together and also distribute their spacing to 10, this and this to 10 as well. All right, so make sure they are aligned properly. So let's do this to that as well. 10 aligned, and this to this align, and 10 as well. All right, I think we're done. So what we're going to do now is to select that and move on. Okay, so now let's go back to the prototype and do the connection. User tab on messaging, they are directed to the messaging page, or that is gonna change all this as well. So I'll just explain one or two things for you here, and I would like you to go and implement it. If you notice, there's going to be a little bit challenge here. After user makes selection here, once they tap here, they'll be directed to this page. But in this page here, you will notice that there's not going to be selection here. All right. So to avoid such kind of collision, what you need to do is you go and change each and every one of these frame as a component. So that way they will stay in the same page while they are making their selection. I hope that is getting. So we're going to perfect that, or well, not do that in this video. I'll just proceed with the prototype, but that is what I want you to do to avoid changing to the next screen without this. All right, so that way your prototype will be perfect. Okay, so now let's continue with our prototype. Use that tab here, they'll be directed. Now when you do that, you don't need to come and do this and all that. Okay, so now that is not going to be a challenge. Let's also do that quickly so that we can minimize some of these screens. Is that taking? All right, so let's do this now. What you're going to do now, we'll go and change this to component as well. So just change to select state and non-select state, that's all. Okay, so we take this out, create a component, and add variant properties. Okay, then we'll add select state. So the variant is going to be select state. All right, and variant 1 will just change it back to the default state. So there is not going to be active color, only stroke, and we'll change the color of the text to black. Okay, so this will go back to black, and the hour will go back to our global color, which is the red. Then here the icon will go back to height, and the frame will go back to our global color. Okay, and we can now connect the prototype. So if you use that tab here, they should be directed to this, and once they tap again, they can make another selection to be directed back to the default frame. So we are done with the message. So let's bring the video or voice call as well and do the same thing. Select it and go back to a design layer, and also change it to a frame component, sorry. Then add property, then add select state. It is going to be this select state. Now in the select state, we do the same thing. We fill it with our active color, so which is going to be that, and change the text to height, then this to height as well, then this to height, and the icon to green. Okay, so connect the prototype now. So this is going to be here, and when you use that tab, they will be selected, directed back. So we are done with the voice. So let's go to the video. Let's duplicate this and bring it down. So here we're going to do the same thing, convert it to component and add variant property. That is going to be this. Then we add the select state. Okay, then here we'll remove the fill and change the text color to black and the hour to red. Okay, so we're done. Then the here is going to be revert back to green, then the icon to white. So this way we are done with the 3. So now let's select them all together, Ctrl X, and go and put them back to our component page as well. Now we keep it there. We keep it here. Alright, so that's fine. Now we can go back to our design page and connect the prototype. So since we have these 3 as component now, so we don't need to have these 2 screens that are here that show the select state. Okay, so we just select this one, and delete it. Okay, so we delete these 2 frames since we already have everything here as component, so we can stay in the same page while we make our selection. So let's zoom out a bit and scroll to the right, select these 5 frames together, then we move them closer to that place. Alright, so now we can proceed with our prototype from where we start. Alright, so now we go back to prototype. So here, this is where we are. If user make this selection, once they click next, they should be directed to this place. Okay, then from here you can also come back to the previous screen that is here. Okay, now if they click next, they should be directed to this alert screen that will show them to make selection. Okay, so once they click for myself, they should be directed here. Once they click for others, they should be directed to this page. Okay, and from there they should be able to move next. And similarly, you can also change these two screens. This select state, you can change them to company so that user can stay in the same screen while they are making their selection. So you can do that, it's not bad. All right, so from here they can now be directed to this screen. Okay, so once this for others here, they can now go to this screen. All right, I'm filling this information. Then after here, they click this form field here. It will direct them here as if they are fill their information. So here they can go back to the previous screen, and here also they can go back to the previous screen. All right, so I think so far we are done with the prototype. Let's go and take a final review of it and see how it is. All right, so now I'm going to click the booking and review from the right panel here. So if user click on book appointment, they are here, isn't it? And if I choose this doctor, I'll be directed here, isn't it? And if I click next, nothing is happening. But if I click here, nothing is still happening because we didn't connect the prototype, right? So we're going to do that now. So let's go back and do the prototype. Okay, so here if user tap on Monday, they should be directed to this frame that has Monday as field. Okay, then if user tap on Tuesday, let's go back. User tap on Tuesday, they should be directed to this frame that have Tuesday. Okay, and the back key should go there. I think we did up to 3, right? If user tap on Friday, and they should be directed to Friday frame, which is this one. All right, so from there, once they click next button, they can be able to proceed to the next frame. Okay, so let's come back here and select the button. Once they click here, they can be directed to this. Okay, that's perfect now. All right, let's go back and take a preview again and see what we have. Then preview. Now click book appointment. I select this doctor, I select Monday, and I scroll up and I click next. Nothing is happening because we didn't connect the button. So let's go to Monday and connect the button to next. Okay, on Monday here, this button should be connected to next, which is gonna be this video screen. All right, so I think everything else is connected now. Okay, we'll go back again and start. Let's preview again. Click next. So I select this doctor, Monday, scroll up next, and I have this. So here I can select morning or evening, and I can select time based on the one we added in our prototype. I think we added 11 and we also added 10. So you can choose the one you want. So I can select the time and remove it. Okay, then I can select anyone I want here. You can see. So once I select that, or I select video, then click next. For myself, nothing is happening. You can see. Then click for myself, next. We didn't add the next button, then we're going to connect that as well. All right, so let's go back and for myself and connect next button. So for myself, next should be taken to this frame. For myself, we're going to skip the form if it's for myself. So for myself, we're supposed to be taken back to payment page. Okay, so we are not connecting for myself. That is it. So all right, so that is the final preview of it, and I think everything is working fine now. If you take the preview, you see that everything is working fine. So congratulations, we're done for this section. In the next section, we'll start designing the payment chapter. See you there.